Hi guys, so I thought I'd do another one. Being the parties just don't stop here. The banging up and down the stairs, this goes on coordinated. So as soon as the smells stop, the banging starts. As soon as that stops, then you get the heating of the floor. Whatever that is, I still can't figure it out, whether it's radiant heating, but it comes against the wall too if I put my back against the wall. So this is what I'm dealing with here. And this was after the constant attacking me over my fire hydrant in my home that was spewing water in my basement. It was being sucked up through the eaves into my roof that I replaced. I had replaced everything on my home so I wouldn't have to deal with this, so I would have a safe place to live. But this is what continues here. It's round the clock. It's more like renting a room in someone else's house than it is you're actually in an apartment, because this is coordinated. They all know each other, and this goes on 24/7. You don't sleep, you don't have hot water, you don't have heat, the jokes continue, and it's like this system, this relay system. Once one set of conditions stop, then they'll start in on another thing, and then another thing. So this is round the clock all night long, so you don't get sleep, so you can't live your life. My hair is falling out again. It's freezing cold. Like I mentioned, this maintenance guy that keeps attacking me has been here. The fire alarm continues to go off for 3 weeks. I guess that's a joke. There's debris all over the courtyard back here, but I guess people don't care because this stuff goes on in our communities, like out in California. I think I showed you a little bit out here, but it's not just the lawn here, it's all these lawns here. My lawn was picked up. I made sure I had all this stuff taken care of because I grew up moving from apartment to apartment. So when I got older, I wouldn't have to deal with these kind of things at 60 years old, having to put up with people partying all night, women in and out, laughing all night, having a good old time, while I sit up here trying to get sleep and trying to figure out what I'm going to do now that my career is destroyed. So when I dated this guy, when I came to Albany, after they destroyed my graduation party, and I went to New Paltz, and they followed me down there. I came up here to Albany. I dated this guy for briefly, binging on slasher films, buying all this alternative equipment at Army, Navy. 40 years later, this man calls me out of the blue, going through this divorce, making up false allegations, and this continues because some of these people are the same people he was partying with over here on Central Avenue. His father was a detective, and this has continued. So this is how you can't get these people out of your life. This is 40 years later. With this stalking and this predation. And I posted a couple of videos about how some people in the community have talked about how they follow you around the apartment, they follow you into the community, they follow you. When you have police involved, which his father was, I don't know what he does for a living now, because he was too busy bragging about his pension and hitting on me again. I told him when I left, he had cheated on me, he was involved with another woman, he eloped. He watched slasher movies for entertainment, which I found pretty repugnant, and I wanted to get away from him. I moved back to Amsterdam. My marriage was set up, and this is what women deal with. Violence after violence. There was a new case online I was just looking at. She told him no. She only met him a couple times at work, and he continued to harass her. This is the kind of mentality you deal with. 40 years later, this man calls me up and makes threats, bragging about his pension, hits on me again, and continues with his friends here because I continue to look for housing here. And I also was involved in my career with disaster planning, and we can get more into that. Joking and laughing, you sit in on some of these meetings, and this is what goes on in our communities. I was actually fired from a nursing home in Amsterdam because there was investigations with the administrator, or there was a committee put together. I had to finally say something because these were residents in a nursing home. It continued to be a joke with the nurse managers who all skipped out of there and went to the hospital. It continues to be a joke when the lawyer that I went to high school with, who supposedly spent a semester at Harvard, brings out this document that I wrote to HR, that I was concerned with the administrator. She seemed to be having mental health problems. I was concerned with the residents, about evacuation plans, CNA's lack of training, because these people were complaining. I was her assistant. I was involved in managing the network. putting stuff onto OSHA, online, the health department or OSHA, I forget exactly what the website was, putting these documents online, and things seem to be amiss, seem not to be going well. Well, she stepped down and they fired me for admitting that, yes, there seems to be a couple problems here, and I wrote about it. So he brings it up, Mr. Francisco, as a document to show how crazy I am. This is what is going on in our communities as they continue to vandalize my home, trash, make threats about burning it down, threats from this neighborhood watch, who these people weren't doing anything with their houses, this Shelley, but called the code enforcer all the time between me and the neighbor. So, I'm sorry to go off in different directions, but it's very disconcerting to watch people suffering what's going on in some of these areas, and it continues to be a joke here with no heat, but yet whatever's happening with the floor, with burning, whatever's happening with the smoke alarm here, and we will continue to talk about some of this stuff with fire hydrants, disaster planning, and various other things, that you're the one that's being targeted while these people continue to laugh and joke and think this stuff is funny here. Be safe, guys.